I have some breaking news now. We have just learned, and we just got the paperwork, that Hunter Biden, the president's son, has been indicted for lying when buying a gun. I want to bring in NBC's Garrett Haake. Garrett, what can you tell us?
Well, Chris, this indictment just unsealed in Delaware charges Hunter Biden with 3 counts, all related to that gun purchase. It describes 2 counts of knowingly making a false or fictitious statement when purchasing a gun, basically accusing him of lying about being addicted to drugs at the time he was purchasing this weapon, a pistol, in October of 2018. And the 3rd count is that he did knowingly possess that same firearm while being addicted to a controlled substance. So these are counts that were all thought to have been dealt with in that plea deal that fell apart a couple of months ago, kicking things back to the U.S. Attorney, now special counsel. Weiss handling this in Delaware, a former U.S. Attorney in the District of Delaware. Again, this indictment unsealed, dealing only with the gun and drug charges. I think it's reasonable to presume we have not heard the last of charges against the president's son, given the scope of what was originally in front of the U.S. Attorney and then kind of fallen apart, back to the drawing board to bring forward these counts now.
Yeah, let me bring in NBC News Justice and Intel correspondent Ken Delaney. And just to pick up where Garrett left off, Ken, this is a direct result of what, frankly, Hunter Biden and his lawyers thought was over and done with. They washed their hands. They had a deal. Clearly, now we have an indictment.
That's right, Chris. And specifically with regard to this gun charge, they had a deal that would have entered Hunter Biden into what's known as a diversion program, where he essentially admitted to the conduct but agreed to comply with certain conditions, including no longer using drugs. And after a period of time, the charges would be dropped. And now instead he finds himself charged in a 3-count indictment in Delaware. And we don't believe that this is the end of it, because there were also 2 misdemeanor tax charges that were part of that plea bargain, which fell apart, as you said, because the 2 sides could not agree on some key aspects of it. And so we would expect that there would be some kind of additional action on tax charges, whether only misdemeanors or whether having to do with other conduct. Because, as you know, there's a whole context here, Chris, where some of the investigators in this case have come forward to Congress and have said that they believe that there's evidence that Hunter Biden committed felonies while evading taxes on millions of dollars of income he was earning from foreign business entities while he was addicted to drugs. So we're waiting to see what happens on the tax charge. And the reason the plea agreement fell apart in principle, Chris, was because at the end of the day, the 2 sides could not agree on whether the agreement held Hunter Biden harmless from any further charges. Because David Weiss, the then U.S. Attorney of Delaware, now special counsel, added a curious sentence at the end of his press release announcing the indictment. He said the investigation is continuing. And when people first saw that, they thought, well, that was kind of throwaway the line that a U.S. attorney sometimes says. Technically, it's really not. This is the end of it. But in fact, he was serious. And they disclosed in court that they continue to investigate, federal prosecutors do, questions about Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings and whether there are any issues under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. And as soon as Hunter Biden's lawyers heard that, they said, well, wait a second, we have no deal then. Why would we plead guilty if you say you still might charge us on other conduct? And so that's why the deal fell apart, and that is why we are where we are today, Chris.